So welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today what we're going to discuss are the biggest mistakes that people make when moving from being an in-person personal trainer on the gym floor to an online coach. There's lots of mistakes people make, to be honest with you, as with everything, but what we're going to focus on are the three most common things that happen so you can avoid them, and then you can make the uncommon mistakes instead. I'll pay someone to help you. But these are the common ones that are the most easily avoided. The first one is not taking a step back from your business. All right. Now, what usually happens is coaches fill their diaries. I'm not going to say it's easy to fill your diary as an in-person PT, but if you're at the right gym and you have the right look and you have the right vibe about you, you can pretty much fill yourself up fairly quickly. All right. So you fill yourself up with PT, you get stuck. You're like, I don't know where to go. And then they decide to run online. And they start going online, and one of the problems is, I think they think it's easy, or it's something that you can just flick on, like, oh, I'll just go online, bam, online. It doesn't work that way. It requires time and effort in things that you're probably not used to, like social media, like marketing, like sales calls, like delivering programs online. You might do some of those things, but they probably don't do all of them. All right. So you're learning new skills, you're having to practice things. And what happens is they give them the absolute bare minimum time and attention. Therefore, they end up being quite shit at it, and then they never get good. So the problem is they end up in this problem where they're putting in a minimum amount of time. They're not seeing any return because they've not put in enough time to get good at it. And then they think, well, I'm putting in this time and I'm not getting anything out of it. So this is shit. I don't like it. I'm not doing it. All right. And that seems to be one of the problems that people have. And it's because they are unwilling to take a step back in their first business, in their one-to-one business, in order to allow themselves to have more time. Okay. So it's almost like the monkey in the branch analogy of like swinging from one branch to the other branch without letting go of the first branch. All right. You're going to have to let go at some point of the previous business model to move into the new one. And I'm not saying get rid of it completely, but there is probably for most people a period where you're going to have to take a step back. Now, there are a couple of ways you can deal with this. One is assuming that you are able to get a better price for your in-person. Now, most in-person coaches can probably squeeze a little bit more money out of their in-person coaching. They're probably charging a little bit under. Generally, if you're full and you're oversubscribed, it's probably because you've been slightly too cheap and you need to raise your prices. So a quick way of you can almost balance the scales a little bit, right? Put your prices up for your existing clients. It doesn't need to be by a mammoth amount, but do it in a way that's going to buy you back some time. Some clients will inevitably leave if you put your prices up, but the new prices that the older clients are paying is going to make up for the clients that you've lost. Therefore, you've bought back some time. You've not really taken a hit on your finances. However, it's not a dream scenario because it happens. Like, people do it quite successfully all the time. But if you are at the top end of your price point, or for some reason or other, you're not able to make that, you have to be okay with the fact that your income might drop a little bit. Now, if you are full in person, you should be earning like $4,500 a month realistically. All right. So I'm not saying it's ideal, but if you're not willing to spend a couple of months at $3,500, you probably don't really have any business opening a new business. Like, there's always sacrifices to be made with everything, and this is one of those sacrifices. Starting online coaching requires zero investment, zero initial investment. All the videos that we've done previously, not one thing in those videos will you have to pay for. Not one. All the advice we give you for free, all the resources we give you are free. Okay, you can start the business with zero. The only investment that you've got is your time and potentially money where you step back from a previous business. However, if you look at what you can do with online coaching, you can build a six-figure business. I'm not going to say it's easy, but you can build a six-figure business simply. It's not the most technologically or technically or skill-based advanced thing in the world to do so. It's doing the right things consistently and getting good at them. It's not, it's not like being an astronaut where you have to be X, Y, and Z in order to achieve it. Like, building a six-figure business online is achievable by lots of people from lots of different backgrounds. You don't have to be tall. You don't have to be, supremely clever. You just have to be regimented and do the right things. Okay. So if you think that that's the upside and your downside is dropping 500 quid a month for the next few months, I would think it's a pretty good upside. But a lot of people aren't willing to make that sacrifice, and therefore they end up spinning the wheels of online a lot. The second mistake that coaches make is not building the right offer to go online. What sometimes happens, when I say sometimes, what always usually fucking happens when they get left to do this themselves, is they really, really lowball their online coaching. So they think, right, well, I'm charging, say, £300 a month for 2 sessions a week in my in-person coaching. So if I'm doing no sessions a week, I should probably charge like £100, which is all well and good, right? But if you think of the time then it takes to take on new clients, the time investment it takes to market to them, to generate the lead, to make the sale, and to then coach the client, if you've only bought yourself back a couple of hours a week from taking the step back, what happens is you never build up the finances in order to take further steps back with the in-person businesses. You're expecting to get 20 clients on 2 hours of work a day, and it's realistically not going to happen. So for you to earn $2,000 more, so then you can take a £2,000 step back in your one-to-one business, or realistically, most of you are going to want to earn $2,000 and take £1,000 step back in your business and scale it that way. So you're moving forward, right? It's never going to happen at those price points, because the work that's required to build the business up like that, unless you've got a massive following or you're supremely charismatic and you're able to get clients like that. Problem is, if you're one of those people, you're probably not even fucking watching this video, because you've probably already got clients and you're not finding it difficult. All right. For most regular online coaches and in-person coaches, it will take you, 2 hours to generate a lead. Every lead that you generate probably has a 50% chance of selling. So you're taking 4 hours to generate one lead. Then you've got to coach them through the program. You can see quite quickly that if you're charging £100, it doesn't add up time-wise. You'll be gaining, if you've bought yourself back 4 hours a week, you'll be gaining one client a week. Then you actually lose an hour because you're coaching that client. So then you're only doing 3 hours. You'll run out of time before the money gets enough for you to take further steps back in your business. So you're going to have to charge at very, very minimum, like $175 a month. And that would be me looking at the low end. If you're really, really bootstrapping, maybe $150, but you're going to have to get out of that very, very quickly. That might get you started. All right. Now, the issue here is, if you're only charging $150 for one session a week, a lot of coaches are very scared to charge that online. So then they end up going under that and lowballing it. And that causes that problem that we've just spoken about. So think about it as a separate line of business. It doesn't have to, if you're really bothered about that, you're going to have to put your in-person prices up and make it match. Okay. For most people, you don't really need to bother, because it's a separate market that you're marketing to. You're not marketing to the same people in the gym. You probably won't get many online clients from the gym that you're in. You'll probably get them from social media. All right. So it's a separate business model. That means it has its kind of own rules and its own price point. All right. If you think about it this way, clients are paying you for a result, not for how you get them there. Yes, the level of service matters. They don't just pay for a result if you treat them like shit and you barely get back to them and they still get a result. It doesn't matter the level of service, but you can provide a very high level of service online as well as a very high level of service one-to-one. It's just the delivery method that's different. Some people don't want a one-to-one PT. I know most, I wouldn't want a one-to-one PT. I prefer an online coach. I just want to be told what to do, and then I want to go and do it. I don't get the value out of someone being stood there counting my lat pull downs. Like, I know how to execute the exercise. It doesn't motivate me. So it's different things for different people. Therefore, if you're working people towards the same result, you can charge the same price irrespective of the delivery model. So that's the second thing, all right? If you want help on how to do that, if you want help on how to build an offer that you can get that price point for, if you're worried about it, we have a free offer builder workshop where we'll help you build out that offer step by step. So I'll put the link in the description. You can go through that. That will sort that out for you. We'll cover pricing. We'll cover what you should be delivering inside that model, and we'll cover how to package it all up so you can get that price point, okay? So that's the second mistake. The third mistake I see people make is them trying to force this conversion from in-person to online. I've been personal training for over a decade while doing other jobs and doing other things, but I've always kind of done it on the side. I've been full-time in the industry for 4 years now. I've built 2 7-figure businesses in the space. I've helped build 30 plus 6-figure businesses in the space already. Okay. That's within 4 years. I've never really seen someone manage to start a funnel where they convert people from in the gym to online. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying that nobody's done it and it's impossible. I'm saying that on average, from the coaches that I've worked with and the people that I've seen attempt to do this, it seems to be a very long-winded and poorly managed way of doing it. So they're trying to get people to come in the gym, work with them in the gym, and then kind of progress onto an online model, which can work. Okay. The problem is that a large percentage of the people that are going to come to you in person, it's because they value that. That's what they value as part of the program. They go to an people are aware of online coaching nowadays, right? So it's not like it's a magical thing. They're going to be like, oh my God, I never knew I could do that. People know they've got a choice between getting an online coach and getting a personal trainer now. That's one of the things that's happened over the last year or so. That shift has happened. The public are aware of it. Which means that if people are still coming to an in-person personal trainer, it's because they've decided that that's where they see value. That's the way that they want to be coached. That's what they like. And trying to shoehorn them, there will a percentage of people will go through that process, but an overwhelming majority usually don't. And that means if you're hanging your hat on that's the way to make that shift, it ends up being really slow and really painful. And what happens is you take on at the front end very easy. You end up getting more in-person clients and you're thinking, right, well, I'll just put them online. And most of them don't. Most of them want to stay with you in person. And that becomes an issue because then you end up with the same fucking problem you had in the first place of that you're full and you don't have any more room. Okay. So some clients may convert to online. If you completely stop one-to-one, some may try and go online with you out of loyalty. But in my experience from the things that I've seen, and when I did it myself, a lot of clients will move initially and then drop off very quickly because it's not really what they wanted to do and it's not something they see value in. What I would personally do is in that situation, you're full online, you're full in person, buy yourself back a little bit of time. Okay, so you've got that time to do the lead gen, do the sales calls, do the content, deliver the actual program itself, and you can give that enough time. And there'll be a future video on how to actually structure that and how you can set that up. Okay, but buy yourself back that time and then almost pretend like your in person doesn't exist anymore and start marketing for your online program. Because here's another problem. If you are trying to market 2 programs at the same time, they will always conflict because you're trying to make this one seem like the best thing that people need and you're trying to make this seem like the best thing people need. And although I know in your head you can be like, oh, well, this works for these people and this works for these people and these are the benefits of this and these are the benefits of this. That's cool. But unless you're a master marketer, offering your audience a choice usually means that they pick fuck all. And that becomes a problem, okay? It's much easier, especially if you're new to online marketing, to drive people towards one product that solves their problems and not present them with a choice. The more choices you present clients with, usually ends up in them picking nothing. All right. So from experience, those are the 3 biggest issues that people have when moving from in-person to online. So if you avoid those 3 things, you'll make the process a lot simpler for yourself. So making sure that you take a step back to give yourself the time to actually devote to the online, building the right offer that's irrespective of the price point that you're charging now in person. Just focus on the value that you can deliver. If you're a good coach, you can charge good coach prices regardless of where your demographic is in person. Like, you know, if you live in an area where people don't have money, it's not that you're not worth that. It's that just the geographical location means that they can't pay it. Or if you can now start targeting clients in London, you can start charging your worth. Obviously some areas of London but you can start charging more because you're not constrained by the financial demographic. And the third thing is stop trying to force in-person clients to go online if it's not something they really want to do. If you start talking about your online program and any of your in-person clients are that type of person, they'll go, oh my God, I didn't know you did that. I'd love to try that out. And then you can look at reducing the sessions and putting them online. But I wouldn't try and force people to do it because generally they've come to you online, come to you in person because that's the way that they want to be coached. All right, so those are the 3 things. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these things, if you've made these mistakes, or if you want any more help. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell thing to get told when we do new videos.